Hello and welcome to the second episode of Top 10 Knits, covering patterns released between late summer and early autumn. A massive thank you to everyone who watched and subscribed to my first episode. I was chuffed to bits, that was totally amazing, thank you. I meant to mention the last time, if you look down below, there's a show more button, and if you click that it opens, and I've time-stamped each individual pattern, so you can click and just link between the patterns if you don't want to watch the whole show again to find the pattern that you liked. I was also very pleased to see the amount of people that used the subtitles I created. Almost half of viewers used them. So I wanted to let you know that if you look down at the bottom, I'm just looking at my screen now to see, just next to share and save, there are 3 dots, and if you click that, you can also open a transcript, so that might be of use to some of you. Researching all of these patterns has given me a massive creative boost and totally increased my knitting queue. Thank you to all the designers that put their work out there. So since the last episode, I've knitted a pair of Little Boxes Socks by Summer Lee, and I've also been working on Babels by Jennifer Beale. So I'll show you. It was this cardigan here. So I've got this far with that one. So you can see it's perfectly blocked for this bit here. Might look better against that cupboard. So I was just checking my gauge, and then I got gauge spot on. So now I've just carried on knitting with it. Loving it. Really a lovely knit. So anyway, without further ado, let's carry on and look at this episode's Top 10 Knits. Arctic Spring is a yoke jumper by Wai-Chien Chan, the petite knitter who is based in the Canadian Arctic archipelago. This perfectly named jumper just seems to evoke that feeling of winter and of being cosy in cold weather. I just know I wouldn't substitute either the colour or the yarn to make this, it's perfect. I love the pattern, the colours, everything about it. In Wai-Chien's words, Arctic Spring is inspired by the spring snow showers. It is a matching design with Arctic Spring socks so you could coordinate your knits. It is a boxy top-down jumper with a colourwork yoke. It's knitted seamlessly in the round. Wai-Chien has included plenty of options for making it any length you'd like in the sleeve and body. There are also bust shaping options so you can get the perfect fit for you. It comes in 10 sizes, with a final jumper size between a 30 to 65 inch bust size, or 76 to 165 centimetres, with an ease of 2 to 4 inches or 5 to 10 centimetres. The yarn is Biche and Boucher Le Petit Lambswool 4-ply, held together with Le Petit silk and mohair lace weight. I've seen quite a few patterns holding these two weights together, and I've yet to try it, but it looks like it would be fabulous. The amount needed depends on both size and whether you're making a cropped or standard length jumper. Biche and Boucher Le Petit Lambswool is new to me, and I was delighted to see that it's from a Scottish mill, although I couldn't find any info on one. Which one? Feel free to leave a comment if you know. There are plenty of UK suppliers of this yarn. The pattern cost is $12 Canadian, which is about £6.90. The photo shoot for this jumper is just perfection, and the yarn choice looks divine. A cracking jumper to take us through the impending cold weather seasons. The Cleo Cardigan is by Rachel Kurihara of Rachel Knits Things, who's based in San Diego, California. My first thoughts on seeing this cardigan were lush. As soon as the first leaves start to brown here in Scotland, my thoughts have been turning to wrapping up cosy, and this looks like the perfect autumnal layer to keep off the chill. I love the bloom cuffs that are still tight around the wrists, and Rachel's button choice for her sample is spot on beautiful. The classic horizontal texture lines are such a lovely detail. In Rachel's words, Cleo is as light as air, a fluffy hug, a year-round closet staple. The Cleo cardigan is perfect for spring-summer evenings or layered for fall-winter. This is a top-down raglan style knit, with a button band knitted at the same time rather than being picked up later. The sleeves are also picked up and knit top-down, perfect for making sure you get the perfect length for your cardigan. Cleo comes in 9 sizes from 36 to 68 inches or 91.4 to 172.7 centimetres. There is a positive ease of 6 to 8 inches or 15 to 20 centimetres. There are a couple of options for the yarn choice. The first is 2 strands of lace acrylic, mohair and polyamide blend held together, and the second is 2 strands of echid mohair and silk blend. Rachel's samples use Hobby Diablo for the first choice and Hobby Kid Silk for the second. I've not heard of the Hobby brand before, but they have a UK website and the yarn is a really good price at £4.50 a ball for the Diablo, or £7.90 a ball for the Kid Silk. There is a fantastic range of colours too. The pattern costs £8.14 on Etsy. Rachel would love to see your finished object photos, so use the hashtag Cleo Cardigan on Instagram and see all the amazing variations others have already finished. This is a perfect TV knit, with enough added interest from the horizontal pattern and neck button band to keep you interested. The High Desert Yoke is by Gudrun Johnston of the Shetland Trader, a Shetland-born knitwear designer who is currently based in Reno, Nevada. Tans, mustard yellow, fawn, green. The warmth of this jumper stopped retro-loving me in my tracks, and the beautiful yoke colourwork pattern held me there. The deep green-grey one-row edge to the sleeve and collar is a stunning neat detail. In Gudrun's words, this sweater was inspired by the colours I see on the hills here in Reno in the spring months. There is some fun, subtle texture added to the colourwork by way of stranding contrast yarn to the front of the work. The yoke is knit bottom up, and there is an option for either short or long sleeves in the pattern. There are 10 sizes ranging from 34.5 to 58 inches, or 87.5 to 147.5 centimetres, with a suggested ease of between 5 to 10 centimetres or 2 to 4 inches. The yarn is the ever-perfect Jamieson & Smith 2-ply jumper weight in 5 shades, and I'll leave you to look at the pattern link below for the quantities, as there's quite a range between the 10 sizes and the cap or long sleeved options. The pattern is $8, which is around £5.80. There are so many versions of this already under the hashtag High Desert Yoke. Well worth a look to be inspired by all the different colours. Another amazing design by the ever so talented Gudrun Johnston. Manzil Mitts by Kavitha Raman of Craft Doodling Designs are part of the 3rd edition of the Indian Designers Collaboration, or Indesco. This edition is themed around the Taj Mahal, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'm always drawn to fingerless mitts as they're a very satisfying quick knitted autumnal accessory, and I guess I must be starting to think about autumn now when I favourited these on Instagram. I love a design with meaning, and I really enjoyed reading Kavitha's pattern description about the history and inspiration of the Taj Mahal in her beautiful textured knitwork. She says, Manzil Mitts feature an octagonish textural motif as a subtle nod to the octagonal inner chambers of the Taj Mahal. The word manzil simply means house or dwelling in the Arabic language. They're knit in the round with an optional cable needle. It looks like the cable crosses may only involve a couple of stitches, so I assume this can be done without a cable needle depending on your knitting skills. The Manzil mitts come in an inclusive 5 sizes to fit between 18 to 23 centimetres or 7 to 9 inches hand circumference. They use a 4-ply yarn and need between 89 to 162 metres or 97 to 177 yards depending on the size knitted. The pattern costs $5, which is about £3.60. Do check out the hashtag Manzil Mitts on Instagram to see other versions by Kavitha's amazing test knitters. They come very highly recommended, and I'm going to have to dig into my stash to see what I've got that would do this brilliant pattern justice. Follow at indesco.co on Instagram to see more designs from the Indian Designers Collaboration. Olki by Anna Joanna is a cosy looking long sleeve jumper. The shaping and pattern of this jumper tick all the boxes for me. A nice wider version of a crew neck, a drop shoulder, long cosy sleeve ribbing and a lovely length for autumn wear. The vertical pattern up the front has a lovely delicate cross stitch looking pattern. Olki means straw in Finnish, and it's clear that the stitch is inspired by Olki. In the designer's words, simple things are often the best. Olki is a relaxed boxy sweater with a simple but elegant stitch pattern on the front. Surprisingly for a drop shoulder, this is a seamless top-down jumper, starting at the back shoulders. There is no waist shaping, and short rows are used for the shoulders. The cosy look of the ribbing is created with folded cuffs, neckline and hem. and it includes a photo tutorial for how to do this with a pattern. So a nice range of skills are used in this jumper, which I think would keep it an interesting knit. Olki comes in 12 sizes, from 34.75 to 66.75 inches, or 87 to 167 centimetres. There is plenty of detail on sizing in the pattern, for everything from bust, waist and hip, to upper arm circumference and thigh, which I found out means the opening in the body for the sleeve to be attached, so there are plenty of options to get a great fit. The yarn used is a fingering and lace weight held together. For the 4-ply, Anna has used Colorie Naturally Calypso, which is 75% Blue Face Leicester and 25% Masham Fibre blend. And for the lace weight, she has used Colorie Naturally Artemisia Mohair Silk blend. I had a look for some UK substitutes, and for the 4-ply I found Edinburgh's Ginger Twist Studio selling Masham Mayhem, which is her own beautiful hand-dyed yarn in the same breed blend percentages. The mohair silk lace weight blend is easier to substitute, as plenty of commercial and indie sellers are offering this. You'll need between 830 to 1865 metres, or 910 to 2040 yards of each of the 4-ply and the lace weight. The pattern costs Euros 8.90, which is about £7.64 on Payhip, and £6.92 on Lovecrafts. There is also a kit available from Euro 46.50, which is about £40 from Anna's website. It's currently out of stock due to popularity, but you can leave your email address to be contacted once it's available again. If you'd like to read more about the designer, Anna has written a blog post and I've included a link below to that. This beautiful pattern makes me look forward to autumn and being wrapped up cosy in this classic stylish knit. The Sruthail Socks are by Liz Cork, who is based here in Scotland. The name Sruthail, meaning flowing in Scottish Gaelic, is perfect for this pattern. You can see the design rippling beautifully up the side of the sock, and I love the way the pattern emerges centrally at the ankle. In Liz's words, I wanted a pattern that would represent flowing water or swirling air. Sruthail features a lace pattern which swirls stitches from the centre of the sock to the outside edge. On the foot, the pattern covers half of the instep, then after the heel, the pattern is mirrored on the leg. These socks are the perfect mix of relaxing knit and engaging pattern. The socks are knit bottom up, which is perfect for getting the perfect length. The lace part of the pattern is both written and charted, so you can knit whichever you'd prefer. There are 4 widths between 17.5 to 25 centimetres or 7 to 10 inches circumference, and the option to customise the length, making these socks size inclusive. The yarn is 4-ply and you'll need around 365 metres or 400 yards for a pair of socks. Liz used Mrs. Lamb Yarn's Wa Sock yarn in the Misty Morning colourway. This is a merino nylon blend and I'll put a link to her yarn in the description. The pattern costs £5. I'm not usually one for socks, but Summer Lee's little box of socks from the last episode has changed that, and I've been on the lookout for more sock inspiration since. Liz's Sruthail sock pattern looks perfect for any of the many single skeins of yarn I have acquired over the years. And the pattern contains some new to me knitting skills, which I'm on the lookout for since starting the Master Knitters programme recently. A beautiful knit. The static cowl is by Casey Herlihy of Casey Knits, based in the Bay Area, California. I love the graphic drama of this cowl and how complex it looks with only 2 colours used. The simple reversing of the colours makes the patterns appear entirely different, and it would be a great way to get maximum impact from your favourite 2 colourways of yarn. In Casey's words, my mind has felt like static lately, a constant mix of noise and radio silence, full of ideas yet unable to see them clearly. In order to focus, I set out to create a colourwork chart that not only visually represented how I was feeling, but also featured some of my favourite elements of colourwork: chevrons, straight lines, triangles, and playing with negative space. No long floats keep the work simple and fun, perfect for any level of knitter. Static is a reminder to take breaks, to listen to your body, and to enjoy the luxury of handmade. The cowl is worked bottom up in the round. There is a tall and a short version of the cowl, with the short measuring 20.5 cm or 8 inches, and the tall 29 cm or 11.5 inches. The circumference is 51 cm or 20 inches, although I imagine you could just add or reduce pattern repeats to alter the width of the cowl. The static cowl uses Sea Change Fibres Ecola Sport Weight yarn, which is an 85% merino, 15% silk blend. Casey samples use the colourways Odette and Odile. I'm not sure what would be a good UK sub for this yarn, although there are merino silk blends out there at a DK weight which may work. The short version uses 119 metres or 130 yards of the main colour and 60 metres or 65 yards of the contrasting colour. The tall version uses 164 metres or 179 yards of the main colour and 95 metres or 104 yards of the contrasting colour. The pattern costs £6.29. This would be a great knit for starting out with colour work, as it only uses 2 colours, and would also be perfect for those of us who love to repeat our knits. Just swapping the colourways would make it feel like you're knitting something entirely different. Summer Folk is by Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fibre Company, based in Michigan in the United States. The retro-style flower textural pattern on this cute short-sleeve jumper made me stop mid-Insta scroll for a closer look. I'm a huge fan of anything 70s and instantly envisioned these symmetrical graphic prints in a warm chocolate brown or a heathered pumpkin shade. Drop shoulders and boat necks really suit me, with the added bonus of being an easier shape to knit. In Annie's words, this pattern features a fun geometric flower design created from twisted stitches. It has a cropped boxy body, boat neckline and short sleeves, giving it a modern, easy-to-wear fit, perfect for a summer date night or backyard barbecue. The jumper is knit bottom up and flat, with twisted stitches to make the textured flowers. It comes in 10 sizes from 36 to 72 inches, or 94.5 to 172.5 centimetres. The yarn used is my favourite weight, 4-ply or fingering weight, and Annie's sample uses Brooklyn Tweed Peary yarn, which is 100% merino. It takes between 622 to 1,234 metres, or 680 to 1,350 yards, depending on the size you're knitting. The pattern costs $8, which is around £5.78 at the moment. If you'd like to hear more from this brilliantly talented designer, I've included a link to her blog, Knitting with Annie, on YouTube below. I'm really enjoying watching it and I never miss an episode. Check the hashtag SummerFolkTea on Instagram to see it in a range of colours, highlighting that no matter the yarn or the colour, these fab flowers pop brilliantly. A beautiful knit and I can't wait to cast on. The Last Cardigan is by Shin of Shiny Superhero, who is based in Copenhagen, Denmark. A beautiful city I'd highly recommend a visit, fantastic yarn shops. Usually Intarsia intimidates me, but I love a graphic print and all the colour possibilities this cardie presents are really exciting. And Shin explains that it's an Intarsia dream project, but don't worry, everything is explained in the pattern. She says, the Last Cardigan was super fun to knit, even though I was sceptical that anyone would ever want to knit with 50 bundles or more. That's why I thought it would be funny to name it the Last Cardigan, if you lost the will to ever knit again after this Intarsia challenge. The Last Cardigan was inspired by the cross-stitch I saw in Sommerfuglen. I can attest to it being a cracking yarn shop when I visited in Denmark. She goes on that it reminded me of a painting I did as a kid with all the squares. The cardie was, of course, named primarily after August D's song, The Last, which is one of her all-time favourite songs. The construction is top-down raglan with an oversized fit. The pattern includes a chapter on how to knit Intarsia. It has both charted and written instructions and comes in Danish and English language. The Last Cardigan comes in 8 sizes and is size inclusive from 96 to 174 centimetres, or 37.8 to 68.5 inches, including ease. The cardigan is worked with 2 strands of Isiga spinny and needs between 2,000 to 5,000 metres, or 2,187 to 5,468 yards. There are a few UK stockists of this yarn, averaging about £8 a ball. It comes in 51 colours, so you have so many possibilities to take your colour choices. They also do the same colourways on grey, making a beautiful tonal option if this was your bag. You can see the other colour options on the pattern page linked below. The pattern costs 50 Danish krone, which is about £5.75. If you love colour in your work and want something a bit different to Fair Isle or stranded knitting, I would definitely recommend giving the Last Cardigan a go. A challenge for sure, but also an opportunity to pick up a new knitting skill with this contemporary eye-catching design. The one is a long rectangular wrap by Rachel Ilsley of Unwind Knitwear, a knitting designer based in Yorkshire in the UK. This wrap has a fantastic woven quality. I've not seen this kind of stitch work in knitting before, and the dramatic patterning is very eye-catching. Also, I love tassels and they really add to the design here. I find a rectangular shape much easier to wear and I'm always on the lookout for it in wrap patterns. In Rachel's words, she says, "The concept for the one came from having one special skein in my stash that I absolutely loved and wanted to celebrate. I wanted to create an accessory that celebrated this variegated colourway by drawing out the different colours in the skein. One of my favourite things about this design is how versatile it is. She says it works beautifully both as a colourful stash buster and as a monochromatic piece." She adds, "A huge thank you to Catherine, who knit this monochromatic sample for the one for me." In terms of construction, she says it features sections of linen stitch texture and sections of mosaic colour work. Each section is separated by a Latvian braid. Now, I've not encountered linen stitch texture or a Latvian braid before, but helpfully she has added some tutorial videos on YouTube for elements like the lateral and Latvian braids and also for adding a fringe. I'll of course include links in the description below. The one is intended to be knit in either 4-ply or sport weight yarn. It requires 1,220 to 1,250 metres or 1,334 to 1,367 yards if knitted in 4-ply. The coloured wrap was knitted with this. Or 1,520 metres, 1,662 yards if you knit it in sport weight and the monochrome shawl was knit in sport weight. The 4-ply size comes out at a width 18.25 inches or 45.5 centimetres, with a length of 57 inches or 142.5 centimetres. Of course, if you knit this in sport weight, it will come out larger. The pattern costs £4.50 and it has a beautiful drama to it. This intermediate project is sure to provide you with loads of new knitting skills. And that's my top 10 knits. Thank you so much for watching. All images have been used with the very kind permission of the knitting designers. I haven't been paid in any way and no designers have contacted me to be featured. This is very much just me feeling so inspired by the new designers and patterns I've found that I've wanted to share them with you. Links to patterns and designers' Instagram accounts are available in the show notes below. If you like what you see, please let me know, and if there are any amazing designers you'd like to see on the channel, please get in touch. Please do share, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Top 10 Knits.